to another little Wookie drives. Gotta be a little bit of a crunchy one there when I'm out here in the woods. But got another little Italian or European flair to one walk around. And how about a Fiat X19? Now these were Fiat's little entry level Roadsters per se, introduced in the early 1970s. They replaced the 850 Spider, which was kind of a grown-up version of a Fiat 500, and the 850 Spider was the convertible version of that. This is slotted beneath the old school Fiat Spider, which everyone knows very well. This is a 1975 model, as you can obviously see by the US mandated ladder style bumpers in here that pretty much ruined the Bertone styling. These were designed by Bertone. They were sold from 1972 to 1979 or 80-ish as Fiats, and then in America, at least, some of my sources, I kind of researched these real quick. In America, at least, they were sold as Bertones for the next few years. And some sources say they were sold as Bertones in Europe, and some sources say they were sold as Fiats in Europe until they were discontinued in 1989. But anyways, Next 19 is a little wedge-shaped two-door Targa top. This is not a very good example, but I figured it'd be a fun little walk-around video. Basically, this thing's been out here for a little over 15 years, something like that. Basically, it's just one of those cars that my dad happened upon, thought it was cool, but never really had the time or the money or the know-how to put it back together. And it obviously been off the road for a long time, as we can see. This is a 1979 model. Quick little deal on the name X19. It was one of the first departures from Fiat's traditional numerical numbers, which they had the 500 series, the 600 series, the 800 series. The X19 was actually the prototype designation for this car, and they kept it for marketing purposes because it was futuristic at the time, because a little wedge shape, a whole lot different than what their old 500s and 800s and 600s. Very good looking little cars, minus the US crash regulated bumpers that came about in 1975. They did update them for 1978, 79. But little neighbors. But basically, the only year the Americans did not get these giant bumpers in the 70s was 1974. The first year they were introduced in America, they had a form of wraparound bumper, but they did away with those because the 70s was a bad time in America for car manufacturers, between the fuel regulations and safety regulations. It also cracked down on a lot of sporty stuff, so it was just everything hitting at once that created the mid-80s era. But anyways, of course, pop-up headlights. You got your little blinkers and running lamps written down there. I haven't been this like a traditional. This is rear engine. It's got a transverse mounted engine in the rear. So this is a frunk per se. I can't remember how to exactly get it open, and the driver's side door is wedged shut. Unfortunately, this car has been off the road for many years, probably older than I have. You can see this thing was last, at least legally, on the road in Maine in December of 1987. So you can see there's a lot of rust around here, around the windshield bed, around the bottom of the doors over here. There's a lot of rust. Probably the ground is keeping the chassis together at this point on this poor thing. It's probably not worth saving at this point. But the only thing it's really good for is just a cool little yard piece at this point. Sadly, it's just a car that has been off the road for 30 years. Outside too. But underneath this cover right here, it's not latched, so the engine is probably long seized up by now, but it is a 1.3 liter single overhead cam 4-cylinder mated to a 4-speed manual transmission. All of them were 4-speed manuals. Why wouldn't a little sports car be any different? Like, yeah, look at the engine cover right there's destroyed. This is actually supposed to flip upwards, and yeah, I'm gonna close this back up because this thing's falling apart. But anyways, they produce right around 100 horsepower. And the first thing I can really say about this thing, it is a tiny, tiny little car, only 46 inches tall. I'm 6'3", and this thing only goes up to my not even to my belly button. Tiny, tiny little car. This thing's sitting on blocks in the rear. Wheelbase is 86, a little over 86 inches, which is, I think, just shorter than a Jeep CJ7. I think the CJ7 is like 80, right around the 86 to 87 inches. Or a CJ5. The CJ7 was right around 90, 92 inches. Never going by again. Open the one door that does open. See a little leather interior. And you see, yeah, many years of being outside, and rodents being inside here. Bertone on the dash. I don't really dare climb in this with all the feces in there, but anyways, that's just kind of what, of course, very race car inspired steering wheel. No airbags back then, but a very reminiscent steering wheel of what we use in NASCAR right now. Some point during the 80s, this got a aftermarket stereo system, as you got these Kraco speakers kind of haphazardly in the door here. And then you can see there used to be a head unit in there that is long gone, and as you can see, there's more of the rot right here. But still, I would like to crawl in and see if I can fit, but I don't quite. The feces in there. And then, of course, right here behind this seat, you got a little storage compartment right here where the spare tire used to go. But that is, and we look inside, there appears to be a little glove box, lock and glove box right there that flips down. Of course, it says Bertone on the dash right there. Pretty cool 70s style design where it's pretty much a shelf right there. Can't really see the actual dash panel. Single vent in the top. Very, very tiny little car. I wouldn't mind actually finding one of these to do an actual review of, but that is the inside of a Fiat X1. Of course, cigarette lighter right there. Look at the little protective leather cover over the handbrake. Little cute little added feature, Italian feature right there. Of course, this is the shifter boot right here. Window. Let's see. Trying to figure out the controls on the center console right there. Of course, you get your little levers for your heater and defrost, and then neat little vents right there that close, block off completely. And then these right here are your door latches on the inside, and then there's your actual slide hand cranks. But yeah, cute little car. And then this is a Target top. This top comes off. I don't think they fit in the front, but if I remember correctly, when I was a kid, we did have this thing off at one point, and it does not fit in the front. So that was back when we had this thing out front. Look at the rear. Of course, ladder bumper makes good storage, keeping it off the ground, but sadly ruins the style of this thing. And of course, you got your louvers right here, and then you got your little compartment for, or a little compartment for your fuel filler right there, kind of tucked in away neatly right here. And as you can see, I think the door mechanism is actually seized up inside and will not open up. And then one singular little mirror on the side, because that's all you needed in the 70s. But basically, a neat little Italian car. Just a little something extra to go with the little Volvo I did earlier in the year. But anyways, this is the Fiat X19, 1975, and this has been another Wookie Live walk around.